What is up, YouTube? Today's video is brought to you by the mobile game Alliance. Alliance is a classic for a reason. It combines the best of the top RPGs that you've ever played. What I like most about the game is the 10,000 different hero combinations that really puts your skills to the test, meaning you have to work for all your wins in this game as compared to all the other RPGs that you've played. You know, you're not just going with the motions and clicking and doing the boring stuff. You get to have fun. This game is very enjoyable. It is a real-time PvP. It has these crazy giant boss fights. You've got all the combinations we talked about, and you also have massive guild battles, all on mobile, all right there for you to play. So there's really nothing else you need. Click the link below. Download the game. You get 50,000 gold and 50 gems for free, all for you right away after downloading it. So after you guys get the game, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on there. All right, guys, now that we're done with that, we're going to jump into the top 5 solo lane god video. We're going to go over the build, very generic build. Solo lane builds change so much once you understand the role. They'll change every single game, usually. These generic builds will work overall because a lot of you are confused and you're learning. So you need somewhere to start off with. This is your starting point. Understand that. We're going to cover Warriors and Guardians, both, because they're both really good in the solo lane right now. We're going to start at number 5, work our way down to number 1, and we're just going to get into it. So first off, Sobek, number 5 on the list. One of the better solo laners. Very, very good in late game and mid game team fights. Fucking fantastic. Your early game can be rough just because you're not clearing, you're not doing shit, you're not pressuring. That's just how he works. So you're playing for the mid to late game because you have disruption, you have anti-heal, you have a little bit of damage, you've got a pluck to set up, and you won't die off of your pluck. You've got the slow on your ult, and all of that combined is a decent amount of damage. With everything going on in a team fight, it just does work. It does what it needs to do, right? So you've got your starter item. Starter item right here. Then you're going to go into your first item. If you're playing against physical, you're going to rush into the Breastplate of Valor. And if you're playing against magical, you're going to rush into the Void Stone. Then you're going to go ahead and grab your boots. A lot of people like Shoes of Focus in the solo lane. In your ranked and casual games, the Magi's are probably going to go a long way just because you actually are able to kill these lower players because people just like to fight so much. So say you plug them into the tower or whatever, you're going to get to do a decent amount of damage. So Shoes of the Magi on top of the Void Stone. You don't have to go right into the Void Stone after this. If they just have so much physical damage that you're just worried about getting physical defense, you can go ahead and pick up the Midgardian Mail before the Void Stone. But having the Void Stone's nice. It allows you to do a lot of damage. It gives you some health. It gives you magical protection for those rotations out of whoever. But if you're worried about dying, you want to rush into the Breastplate, Boots, Midgardian Mail, and then the Void Stone, so you're swapping the two up. You're changing their roles, right? It's not that big of a deal. Then you're more than likely, in this current meta with double hunters being so common and physical damage being so common, grabbing a Hide of the Nemean, and you're pretty much good to go off of that. Your last item can be really whatever you need it to be. If you're really far behind, might want to get a Spirit's Robe, but ideally you want to finish a Mantle because that'll give you the the defenses you need. It'll give you the CDR you need, and the passive is just insane for escaping and doing what you want to do and doing what you need to do. Now, this is a very generic build. It's giving you a little bit of all the defenses, right? Things will change. If they have healing, swap up the Void Stone. You don't need, it doesn't have to be a Void Stone. You can swap this up and you can get a Pestilence. If your team needs anti-heal, granted, you'll probably swap that up into the 4th slot because that would make more sense. Your items can vary. If they have a lot of magic damage, you can get a Bulwark of Hope and get magic defense, get the health, and get the shield. It can change. Your items can change drastically. This build that I'm giving you is a base build that you can build every game and not have too many issues. You shouldn't be throwing damage into these builds because it will fuck you up in the long run. Even if you get a huge lead, you get 3 kills, you don't need damage with 3 kills. You need more defense to do your job, not damage. Damage doesn't make you magically carry the game. It kind of sets you up to lose the game, put yourself in a bad spot most of the time, especially with these top gods, I'm telling you. So that is number 5 on the list. That'll be the only Guardian that we cover on this list. We're going to go ahead and jump into our number 4, which for me is going to be Hercules. I will go over the warrior type build here, and this will apply to all of them pretty much. It's not going to change too much. You got your Warrior's Blessing. I personally like to rush into Boots on Hercules just because it's easier to hit your combos and poke and go for those early kills and be annoying. I just find it to be more fun. Plus, you're usually pretty safe if you're clearing properly and you're paying attention because you've got sustain, you've got the stun. You can just be really, really annoying with this god. So I rush into boots. Then you're going into your standard. Sorry, guys, gotta move this, move this. All right, going into your standard build, your breastplates of valor. You can pick up you go more physical defense if you need it right away. Like I said, if they have mainly physical, go double physical. If they don't have mainly physical, you can grab a magic defense item here. So you grab your hide. Ooh, can't speak. You can grab your hide early. Usually you're not doing that though, just because there's no point. Usually you're gonna get your Midgardian mail here. You're gonna grab your magical defense. It can be a Genji's for the CDR because it's pretty sick on Hercules, or it could be the Pestilence. I kind of like the Genji's a lot on Hercules. It goes a really, really long way. And then you can grab more defense, physical, whatever you need. This could be the height of the Nemean. And then you can also end with the same as the other build and get a mantle. This build will be solid. It'll work great. For the actives, pretty much your standard stuff. Usually you're getting TP. It'll make it easier on you as a new solo laner because you can back whenever you fucked up and just TP back in. And then getting Thorns. Thorns just does work, especially with this build. You're reflecting a lot of damage and you're doing a lot as a solo laner. This is just a generic build once again. For the last time, I'll reiterate that if they have a lot of magic damage, you'll have to swap up the build. You'll take out the Midgardian. That will become a magic defense item. The hide might become a spirit's robe. You can change up items as long as you're looking at the top defense items. You're using them where it needs to be applied, and you're building defense and not damage. This build will be perfect for you on pretty much every warrior in the long run. It really will. It'll do everything you need. So that's number 4 on the list. And Hercules is pretty... I didn't go over why Hercules is so good. Your lane you can bully with the kit. You should know that. You can bully with the 1-2 combos. Your ultimate does a lot of damage. It's very easy to bully. And on top of that, you have sustain out of your 3. Your rotations are pretty sick in team fights. You're very, very, very hard to kill. It pretty much requires anti-heal to kill a Hercules that's building properly and farming and big enough once rotating in the team fights. He's just very good overall for everything. So number 3 on the list is going to be Tyr. Kind of the same situation. Very high sustain, super difficult to heal, has a lot of, I don't want to say annoying damage, but he can kind of lock you down while doing all this damage without putting himself at risk usually. He's got the safety of his ult to escape any ganks or anything in team fights. He can chase with it. Like I said, he can sustain with his 2 and his defense that he has in his kit. He's got the extra damage. He's got the knock-up. He just has a bit of everything. He's really, really safe in my eyes. And as a jungler especially, Tyr is one of the more annoying solo laners to play against when played correctly. It's frustrating as fuck. It just feels like you can never kill him, and he does a shit ton of damage because he has 4 damaging abilities, which is nuts. So, Tyr is going to be number 3 on the list. Number 2 on the list is going to be Cucullin. Probably one of the harder warriors for new players to play, just because you have to understand how the rage works. You have to realize you have sustain when you transform. You gotta realize how your kit works. You gotta realize he has anti-heal. It just has a lot going on for him, which makes it a little bit more difficult for people. People waste the ult a lot when the ult is great for immuning big CC or big abilities. It's fantastic. It's also amazing for setup for your team because you're diving in with that full defense build. You're not dying. You pop your ult, you do some damage, you transform, you do even more damage. You're pretty much impossible to kill. It's just kind of nuts. So Cucullin is going to be number 2 on our list. Number 1 on my list from what I've seen, and this applies way more to ranked and casuals than to competitive. Achilles is number 1 on my list. In competitive, he seems to be able to be counterplayed and played around out of the solo lane a lot easier than in your ranked and your casual games. In ranked and casual, Achilles farms everybody. You've got the sustain, you have lockdown, you're safe as fuck with your abilities, you've got an ult that can execute these high health targets, which is great for in laning if you're 1v1ing and fighting and actually getting people low. You just have a lot. The kit clears, the kit does damage, the kit sustains, your auto attacks hit hard as fuck. There's really no downside to playing Hercules. There's just none that I can see. Your ult has CC immunity and can get you out. It can get you in. It can do whatever you want. The kit is so good. It makes so much sense in a solo lane. The one downside is in team fights when people are playing properly and locking you down, or even early game, if you're playing properly and locking him down, he dies. He does die. But as a solo laner with full defense, it's really fucking hard to kill you. It's really, really hard to kill you. Honestly, it is. So that's number one on the list. I want to jump back and go over the build. So I gave you a very generic build, just something that'll work all the time for you. There are other builds, and there are other ways to start off your builds, which is what I'm going to cover right now. I want to go ahead and throw all the items, everything into the builds. Let's go. The Genjis will change a lot. I didn't mention this. On other gods, Genjis is good, right? It's going to be good pretty much all the time. But if you aren't looking for CDR and you're just looking for other uses out of that slot, that Pestilence, you want the on style because you're diving and the silence will help your team live somehow because maybe you're playing a god that doesn't have that much CC. You can do that. You just have a lot of different options to go with as long as you're looking at the defense. So this is the full build. I like going warrior or going boots early on all the warriors just because I like fighting. When I'm solo laning and ranked and casuals, I like fighting, and boots is going to allow me to do that a little bit earlier and kind of just push me like outplaying them essentially. So let's swap these up. I'm going to put boots first. And then this open slot here. This open slot can very easily be a gladiator shield. I just completely ignored this because I wanted you guys to go for the full build that you wouldn't have to be changing up too much. So with gladiator shield, you're selling it late game, but early game it's really strong. It's so strong, like it goes a long way. You can swap up the mid guardian mail and go into, this is gonna drop you health. This is gonna make you super greedy. I just want to fight. I don't have a lot of health type of build. I would also change out the Nemean. I wouldn't even pick it up if I was doing this, to be honest, just for me personally. I would get that mid guardian for health. But with this build, you're low health for the first, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, but you get 30% CDR. So if you're just fighting, you don't care about your life. You don't care about being so tanky that you can't be killed. You care more about having like a hybrid of defense and damage and then extra sustain out of the gladiator shield. This is a fun ass build for you to go. I put this in at the end of the video, so those of you who just wanted a quick build would see the other one and wouldn't look at this. But this build is just crazy for just being aggressive in lane and doing dumb shit as a warrior who's playing normal, and doing normal shit and not doing weird shit that'll just throw you off. This is a fun build. Try this out. Generically use the other build. Sell the gladiator shield late for whatever kind of defense you need late, whatever it is, whether it be the spirit robe to combine things, so you need more magic defense, so you pick up the fucking bulwark. Just sell it late, swap it up, grab something else. But this build is so much fun. You would be overcapping finishing the mantle with this build, by the way. So if you were to do this, you'd be overcapping CDR because you have Glad Shield 10, Breastplate 20, Genji's 10. So by the time you finish mantle, you would be overcapping. So this probably wouldn't be a Spirit's Robe. Honestly, you'd sell the gladiators and just grab a pure defensive item or a wing blade or whatever. You could even drop this into a wing blade if they have slows and they're being annoying, if you're trying to have fun, and then sell the gladiators and get the mantle late. The build will work out. It's fun. This is more of a I know what I'm doing and I want to punish people who don't know what they're doing type of thing. So hopefully you like the two builds. One of them worked for you. Whatever you're having more fun with, let me know in the comments below. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. And I'll see you guys in the video later.